Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 10 of A Call to Rising. Yay! Let me unmute. Oh, no, I have to do it all over again. I was muted. I was muted. Hello, everybody. What?
There was sound. I heard you.
Oh. I'm scared where that sound was coming from then. I'll find out later. Hello, everybody.
It's still going.
Welcome to A Call to Rising, episode 10, where technical issues are abound because we had a week off. Before we get into more technical issues and a recap, first we want to thank you for being here and being a member of the Welcome to the Party crew. If you would like to know more about our awesome shows here at Welcome to the Party, please check out our Discord located below, where you can find out about some awesome shows like Team Crossbones or Dragon Dark Days. And for the most up-to-date information, please check out and join our Twitter. Otherwise, we also want to thank our wonderful sponsors. We are still sponsored by So Nerdware, and they still have their promotion up right now of if you type in welcome as part of the, what are those called? Code during checkout, you can get 10% off your first purchase. Otherwise, there is Tabletop Loot, who has awesome tabletop loot like dice, because dice are the joy of every gamer. I'm about to say, is Nav trying to show us the ones that... Thank you, Nav. Nav is our sponsor for Tabletop Loot.
Aw, yeah.
Yeah. And
look at all that gorgeous dice.
And finally,
enough dice.
The wonderful mistress of maps, Devin Rue, at rueinc.com, does amazing fantasy maps. The one you see on the screen right now is not one. She does, like, good stuff and better stuff. Like, this is not that. But go check out her stuff at rueinc.com to see really nice fantasy maps. All right. With that, really right before I hit the live button, we were talking about what we did 2 weeks ago. And I was enjoying hearing the players discuss it, so you guys give a recap this time. I'll add anything if I think you've missed it.
Nope, all yours. It's fine.
I don't know what we did.
We protected the chicken farm from more of the woodsy things.
And then we split the party in 3.
Again.
We split the party in 3.
To be fair, first time for 3, but...
Sure.
And
But we're always
getting...
yelling to see each other, so there is a bonus.
Or at least message distance.
This is, well, I'll have to double check the range of message, but yes. So last time, you were hanging out at the abandoned farmstead that was locally around. After destroying part of the barn, you met some wonderful children who I think Redessa may have been attempted to kidnap, but that's up for debate. You went and met their... You went then to meet their parents, who gave you a little bit of information about the attack about a attack that happened the year prior with some blights. You, figuring that the blights would be returning tonight, went back to the Mallard farm to watch out for them. But unfortunately, fortunately, they didn't attack the Mallard farm. They attacked next door at the Chusen farm. You guys, though, all rushed over, got into combat with them, had some exciting moments of dodging needles, watching Twitch summon a weapon out of thin air that you've just never even seen this type of weapon before.
It's a pretty boss-ass weapon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Having some amazing shots and having a hawk aid in battle. We're able to save the halfling and to take out a newer creature made of vines. After all of that was finished, you figured that the halflings didn't need any more help and that the mallards still might be under attack, so you went into this 3-party split with Renessa staying at the Chusen farm, Twitch hanging out in a tree in the middle between the 2 farms, and Isabella and Mark heading back to the Mallards and watching out for the night there.
With Isabella being carried.
I did forget that part, so good memory there. And as I recall correctly, we have all used up all of our advantages.
Yes.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure that we all did. I know I did, and
Yes.
You haven't.
I used mine.
Yeah, I used mine up.
Nav is saying that Isabella still has hers. What about you, Shree? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
I felt like most of us used up yours, so I will give you that you did not. So we'll say that Twitch and Isabella still have theirs.
I keep a tab.
Very nice. I keep a tab for myself. Otherwise, it gets way too complicated to also keep tabs on all of you guys. But the morning was rising, the sun was coming up, and the day is yours. Going into, I think, your 4th day in the strange, strange land.
It's only our 4th day here.
Hey, we're up to episode 10. We've picked it up. You guys spent like 4 episodes on day 1. I think we're doing pretty well. It really might have been 5 episodes on day 1.
Bless us.
Oh, and I'm sorry, you have a name of the Spearborn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes, we do. So it's now daytime. It's daylight. I wanted to stay at the Chusen farm also for the daylight, so I can then start investigating whatever the fuck those creatures are to get more details about them.
Okay, make a nature check on them. First roll. Meanwhile, what would everybody else like to do? I have to keep reminding myself you can actually tell which video feed I'm looking at when I motion towards you guys.
Yeah, it makes
Launch
things
the game and
interesting.
roll 20.
Do it all the time, too. So, we'll start with Twitch. What would Twitch like to do?
Can I attempt to see which way the creatures came from?
So, are you going to go back and join Renessa?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you head over there. You see that she, now that the light's coming up, is starting... It's a very familiar thing for you. Last time you saw her with her hands in, like, cows. Now she's, like, starting to dissect through chickens and the bodies of the twig people.
It's becoming a common thing. You're going to become a surgeon at some point.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she can get elbow deep in a chicken.
Those are
depending
some
on what
big chickens.
chicken.
Did we
Right,
find
nature
Big Bird?
check.
Otherwise, yes, you totally can. Roll a survival.
I rolled a 15 on my nature check.
Very nice.
Nice.
17 survival.
Excellent. And you guys over at the Mallard farm, what would you like to be doing?
Basically, just want to have a look around, see if there's any sign of twig things, and if not, go back and help.
All right. Roll an investigation. Is Isabella helping or doing her own thing?
Probably freaking out Mark by sitting there still and watching Renessa and Twitch through the hawk. Because I told it to stay with...
You did. And you were going in and out of vision every now and then that you can see that Twitch comes over and Joy starts looking around on the ground, starts doing stuff.
Ignore the second one, I got a 1. So
I did see.
I just wanted to test something.
You were seeing how... Well, you've now shown that you've equaled it out.
No,
That's
not
because
really.
he's freaking out that Isabella is so still.
That's 2 low rolls to 1 high.
Yeah,
So
it's a
no.
crit to an almost average. Anyway, so looking over all of the remains of the blights, you are quite confident, as you were last time, that they are blights. So that they are corrupted plant material that is normally formed from some larger, powerful corruption. And it looks like, again, as you're going through, that they were... For the chickens, it's a little weird that you can see that most of them do have, in that very stereotypical way, just have, like, their heads or throats cut off or slashed.
Okay.
So that most of their bodies weren't, it wasn't like something clawed like at them. They were actually going with a claw of precision, if you will.
Okay, so precision cuts on chickens' necks to cut off heads or just in general precision cuts to the necks, and sometimes, okay, we went a little too hard and just cut off the whole head entirely.
Yeah.
Jeez!
Well, that would explain the gurgling sound.
Meanwhile, Twitch, you start looking around, and sure enough, you find that there is this kind of trail where it looks like almost if something was being dragged across. It's not prints that you find anywhere. It's more this constant drag path that goes up and out of the farm, heading in a northeastern direction.
Okay. I think I've figured out where they're coming from, or which way they came.
Oh, that's good. As I'll probably point with like a bloody finger from investigating chicken.
Isabella, you
My
see
hands are always
Renessa
covered in
pointing,
animal blood. What is going on?
hands coated with blood.
It's Renessa. It's normal.
Yeah. It's becoming old hat now.
We've
Mark.
only known each other for...
4 days.
We've known each other for 4 days, and it's already become normal for my hands to be covered in animal blood?
Or at least
Kinda
you
like
can
how-
get into animals.
Mark, you explore around the Mallard farm, and you don't see any sign that they were attacked during the night. It looks very normal. He kept as many of his cows indoors as possible again. So
Which is
you're...
smart.
Yeah. But otherwise, everything seems to be normal.
Okay. Gonna head back to the other farm.
Isabella, you see Mark has joined them.
No, she was on my back. I never put her down. Just saying.
Well, I've learned something new. Now we also know why you're having some issues too, because it's a little difficult to look around while you're also vaguely trying to balance. Isabella, when you're finally like put down and everything, you notice you have a slight bump on your head. You think you got rammed into a fence at one point.
It was just like thud. Ow. It's like it's still.
Oh, that's right.
feeling
Yeah, you
everything.
can still feel. Yeah, at one point during all this, you're like being jostled, you're being shook around, you're just like, I'm sticking with them, and you get a good bump.
It just whack from Sunmark's head. Not hard, just watch it.
Eh.
Jostle.
Does Mark have a helmet?
No.
Okay.
Whack.
I need to
ow.
actually start getting some heavy armor.
But you guys are all back together.
Again.
Wait, I'll start the timer, see how long this actually lasts.
Probably till the end of the episode.
Ooh, that'd be impressive.
Hey,
Ooh,
we did
yeah.
that once.
Once out of 10 games.
Thanks, Dan.
Actual timer. Did I notice anything interesting about the plant creatures? Because those were the ones that I really wanted to focus on with investigation. Since I really didn't get to last time, since they kind of disappeared.
They didn't disappear last time. It was the group decided to not keep them around and burn them all. And apologies.
Smart choice, but now I get to investigate.
Yeah, and apologies, you weren't here for that one. So, but yeah, so you see that the ones that are like mainly made up of twigs or sticks roped around together, there is no rope actually holding them together. So they're kind of those Blair Witch twig people like look. Okay. But
I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah, but of thicker, sturdier sticks and things. So that way they actually, and that's what hits you with the blunt damage and everything.
For the people who... Sorry.
Literally writing down in my notes, look like Blair Witch twig creatures.
For anyone who does magic, aka everyone besides me, do they have any kind of magical aura?
I don't fucking know.
I'm asking you out loud here.
And that was her response.
Could you look?
I don't know how to look.
I don't have detect magic.
Do I?
Failures.
What about
Sorry.
a simple Arcana check?
You can make an Arcana check.
Like, I'm not
Preferably
asking
someone-
to identify anything. I'm just asking to see if it has any.
Probably someone more proficient than me.
Otherwise, there are the needly ones, which seem to be made up of, like, rose thorn bushes wrapped all around the twig bases. And you're not 100% sure how they're able to, like, send needles flying at you, but they can. You've seen it. You felt it. Finally, there's the vine-coated ones, which are a little similar if you do find that there is a base wood structure to them. But otherwise is in, honestly, feet and feet of vines just wrapped around. You're surprised, actually, as you, like, kind of untwist one of them, that it is much longer pieces of vines than you would really expect. They easily start going to 20 feet.
Damn.
They're also...
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Excuse me.
Continue the description.
Oh, they also are of a very thick material that, like, is not the easiest to cut right away, which you imagine is, like, part of their armor, is that you could cut them in a spot, but if the vines just shift, it would seem like there was no damage.
Nice.
I'm taking some of this.
Yeah, you can get...
I was gonna say it'd be really good. First of all, it'd be probably good rope. And if you ever need to build a quick structure, it would also be very good to do that.
And or quick shackles.
Yeah, going through...
Playing
Go ahead.
Playing with the needly ones with their arms, does anything happen? Like a trigger being pushed, so to speak?
No, you can't find anything in that. You guys can get to 20 feet lengths of vine rope, if you want to put it down. It is just as sturdy as rope. You do imagine, with your nature, it is probably slightly more flammable than rope, which is the only thing you'd have to worry about.
What color does the smoke it burn at?
Are you going to burn some of them?
If you want to, Vanessa would probably hand over what she's done looking at.
Out of character. When I was young, and at a summer camp, one of the things we did was build fires. And my brother and I put grapevine in our fire. The Indians use grapevine for smoke signals.
Ah.
So we suddenly had a
Large,
smoke signal.
large billowy white smoke.
Black.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's thick black smoke that comes billowing out of our fire pit. Freaked the counselors out.
I bet. But nice discovery.
Yeah. You know that with your knowledge nature check.
Black smoke?
Smoke signals. It's the
Burning
old-fashioned
fun,
telephone.
roommate.
And message has a 120-foot range, by the way.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would take like the scrap pieces to put in my bag.
I'm taking bits and pieces here and there.
Okay.
I want to see if I can't fashion some interesting arrows or darts.
I'll say for like every pound of material, you can make a smoke signal from it. So you can put it off in like pounds. It's really how much do you want to carry at that point.
Okay.
Let's see. They weigh around... This is information like that used to be on all the monsters. Let's see if it still is.
Should be.
Oh, I was looking up spells, not monsters.
Add custom item.
Let's see.
I've got a few of those.
You imagine, like, altogether, not including the vines that are your ropes, it's 50 pounds, so you can take up to 50 pounds.
I'm not carrying 50 pounds. I'll take
Are we talking about wood or vines, or what are we talking
The
about?
vines.
Specifically. Okay.
We're specifically talking about the vines.
Do we want all 50 pounds worth, or just some?
I'm going to take some, so I'd probably take like maybe 5 pounds of it, just for me personally to have. So
I'm taking a couple of 20-foot lengths, so...
There's two.
that.
There's two very usable ones. The rest you guys have destroyed a little bit in the means of you killed the thing.
I do want to gather some of the wood from the creatures.
Okay.
I'm going to see if I can't turn them into some arrows or darts and see if they have any effect, if you will, or if they're just be normal. So
I want to
how
try
much-
something.
I'm going to take 7 pounds worth. We're just going to make it my favorite number. I'm just going to go with
I'll take 7.
Cool.
Sounds good.
I'm going to take 5.
Okay. I'm going to go up to the needle blights, and on the arm, about how many little needles is there?
Like, most of their body is formed of the little needles. Like, when you were hit by it, you were hit by, like, a mini storm of needles that just goes flying at you.
Okay. I'm going to find a section that's a bunch of needles. I'm going to, let me make sure I have something I can wrap it in. And I'm going to take that, like, arm or whatever.
Okay.
This is what I'm going to try to do later on. Is try to make actual, like, sewing needles. For me to sell later on. Like, little itty-bitty sewing needles. But
Yeah, the only thing you might need to do is, like, whittle it down a little bit to get either, not the point, but to actually get the other side
well, yeah. I
for,
figured.
like, where the thread would be hooked through.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's going to be downtime stuff.
Yeah.
How much wood do you think I can get from the needle blights and the...
Oh, quite a bit, because it's a little heavier, because they are all made of stone and things. Wrong map. 1 second. Did I turn off my mouse? Nope, just went quiet. Also trying to remember how many you guys fought.
a lot.
1, 2, 3, 4. Like, some.
Like
You
7.
could have fought more. Yeah, I think it was 7 in total.
I just kind of threw that number out there.
Well, it looks
No,
like
I
it was
think it
7 in
was.
total. But then that was including the vine, so you're not getting as much from the vine. You can get... Are you looking for, like, thick wood, or are you looking for just any twigs and woods and stuff?
some thicker so it can look... Some thicker that would look arrow-worthy,
So that would... Go ahead.
and some smaller that would be like blow dart-worthy.
Okay. From the ones that are the needles, a lot of it is like the viney needle stuff, so it's probably not the best, but you could get the cores from them, which would be the thicker kind. So each one has like 25 pounds of wood to them, as they have like 5 sturdy logs that make up their core being.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing goes with the twig blights, and then they have a bit more that you could get in the twigish land.
Yeah. I'll just dissect one and get the logs.
Okay, that's like 5 pounds, 25 pounds of wood you could get for everything.
Okay.
So if that's all I can learn with the dead creatures, then I guess it'd be done with them.
Okay.
Well,
Would probably
Can
put
you-
the chickens in one area, because I don't know if the juice and farmers could just be like, all right, we can just use the meat.
Okay. Now, the twig blights do they have like a quote unquote head that stayed together?
No, not really. Because it was like one large piece of wood was their head to torso, and it just had bits of bark and twigs around it for the head.
Okay.
And that is mostly falling apart. If you want, you could...
If it's falling apart, I'll just forget it. But it's one of those things. I was going to put it on a stick, and you just use like the body and just put it on the farm facing the tundra.
It would only be funny to put the head on a stick because the head is a stick.
Yes.
And so is the body. So really you could take the body and put it into the ground and it would already be on the stick.
Mend it together.
You could mend it together.
I think I have mending. No, I was thinking about mending. Don't have mending.
Hey, Vanessa, do you think you can try to track them which way they came from?
Twitch started that, and I was going to ask to get that pointed out.
I did point it out.
You did, and I need it re-pointed out because I was staring at chickens and sticks.
Okay.
We caught you red-handed.
I'm still red-handed. Clean that off.
It's starting to get that, like, crusted, slightly brownish appearance now onto it.
So I can just do this and get most of it off.
Yeah, it's like the little bit of smear. There is a well not very far away from you guys.
Goes to the well and wash his hands real quick.
There you go.
So once hands are clean, she's now focused for tracking purposes.
Well, Twitch already has the path and is able to show you in the direction that it's going, so you guys could just start heading off with that.
Okay.
If we're all ready to go do that, do we want to how the farmers that we've already looked at things before disappearing, or just come back later and tell them what we find?
Yeah.
Let's come back later.
Yeah, I'll
Let
go
them
tell them
sleep.
real fast. I'll meet you by the fence.
I mean, if it's daylight, they're probably up and doing stuff.
It is
True, but they
daylight.
get woken up in the middle of the night, and he was on death's door. So you kind of need more sleep when that happens.
Yeah, but they still got a farm to run.
The farm hands can do it.
Well, either way, I'm going to make sure someone knows, and we go.
That we've already done what we needed to do and are heading out.
So.
All right. You go over to the door of the Chusen farm. It is a halfling-sized door. You have that little bit of, like, awkward height difference
Where
as you're
do I
looking at
knock?
I'm just going to kneel down, so I'm roughly halfling-shaped, and do the police knock, just bang, 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 bang.
Do, do, do.
There's a moment of silence, and you hear from inside. Yes?
We're done checking out the things that we wanted to check out. You can do whatever with the rest. Have a good day.
Okay.
I'm already going.
You vaguely hear something behind you as you're, like, walking away and just keep going. Okay.
I don't particularly like these halflings. I'm cool with most people, but these guys are just snubbish. Like, okay, I did the nice thing. I'm leaving.
Nope, that's fallen. Okay.
So,
All right. Rejoining together, you guys start to head out following the tracks.
let's go tree hunting.
I feel like one of us should say something after that. I just don't know what.
I was like, something needs to be said, but I don't know what either, so I'm just awkwardly laughing.
I'm being decent tonight. I'm working on myself.
Good job. I will remind most of you that with the exception of Renessa, who took a power meditation yesterday, you guys are going without sleep.
I'll be fine.
And you could probably make it to about midday before levels of exhaustion will start to hit you.
I kind of figure we'd check it out, see if it can go for a while. If so, then cool. But if not, go back to the inn.
Yeah.
Just giving you
'Cause,
an
I mean,
idea.
We also were supposed to meet back with Giles. And then we were like, yo, we're staying the night somewhere else.
I've sent you this
Hopefully.
message via bird, hopefully.
Yeah.
You
So
are
we have to go back there at some point.
cool. That was just a reminder, as it has been over a week.
Yes.
And we're also supposed to meet back up with Kirsten to make sure he's done what he's supposed to. Our wine merchant who is skipping on paying.
All these damn tasks.
It's
Hey!
almost like we're playing a game.
It's like you're playing
Weird.
a game and like you
And
did
we chose
things.
to take every side quest that was given to us.
Yeah.
Quite
So
literally how I play RPGs. Take all the side quests.
Get all the side quests, get them done. Okay, where's the main quest again? That way.
What main quest? We're
Yep.
playing D&D, guys.
Main quest: do not die and have to re-roll your character.
Main quest, figure out how the hell we got to this island when none of us were anywhere near each other.
Ah, right, there was that.
Yeah, it's fine. The world's just on fire. It's fine.
Anyway,
So-
we are following tracks that Twitch found.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right. You start heading out, following these tracks, heading in a northeastern direction.
Cool.
It takes you, like, the Chusin farm was a bit further back from the blighted, or not blighted, the area of the burnt tundra, which had this weird blue-gray tint to many of the trees and plants and things. But you do see that after a relatively short distance, maybe a mile and a half, that you start entering it, and you do start entering into small shrublands, into starting to be, the trees are starting to have that look, starting to actually get a little bit forested as you head off in that direction.
Yeah, I was going to ask if this direction was going to get us to the tundra, because I was like, one of the stories I read in that creepy book was about corrupted plant life from the tundra.
It's almost like we're dealing with corrupted plant life from the tundra.
Oh, we definitely are.
I can't comment. I'm just a DM. I know everything.
You give us the breadcrumbs and we put the story together.
Exactly. But you
And Renessa's like, puzzle pieces!
you start following them along. After good hour of travel, you can see that the distance of the farms and everything behind you that is left is now way out of your vision. You really are feeling like now that you're in a light to medium forest area with a lot of trees that just don't get attention from people. Like,
As we go on, I'm going to just have my hawk fly about 20 foot ahead of us. So that way, if anything's looking for movement to attack, it will possibly attack that before it attacks us.
are you having your hawk fly low then, or fly up?
Yeah, pretty, like, what would be Mark's head height?
Okay.
Kind of just doing that, like, in between the ground and that height.
You do realize that you're taller than I am, right?
That's why I said your head height.
Are we in a forest?
You are in a forest.
That's my favorite terrain.
So, with that, this is like the first time we've really had you guys out in wilderness, I would like an idea of what each of you are doing while you're out in a wilderness situation. As an example, one person should probably be in charge of survival so that way they're keeping direction, while another person might want to do perception to have an eye out to make sure that you're not suddenly being attacked by gnolls or things like that.
Well,
So there are gnolls here.
Nav would be the one doing the perception because of the hog. So Isabella would be doing that. I would be leading in the front with tracking.
Okay.
And me and Twitch just keeping out on the sides just to...
Well,
Yeah, they're like...
you guys could be working on other skills. If you have more survival, you could be looking out for food. If one of you particularly wanted to try mapping out the area for cartography, it would be based off of your int, but you could work on that. You could be slowly working on a new skill if that was something else you wanted to do. Like, you could just be saying, I am also watching, so that would give somebody else a advantage on their perception, or also helping with them tracking, so you could help keep the path.
Can I attempt to make our going quieter? Using stealth?
Sure, I will allow that. Yeah, we could base a general how quietly you're walking based off of one person's, like, how well they're able to keep the group kind of quiet.
Have to be smart.
Don't step on that twig. They're like, I can see you Twitch like, there's a twig, there's a twig, there's a twig. And we're just like, about to step. No!
Well, I'll also put that with, you are also helping to prevent your own tracks from being, like, too observed.
Yeah.
Okay. Mark, is there anything you want to be going on?
Too many things to be able to do in a timely manner. I will try mapping out the area.
Okay.
Poorly likely, but try.
I think we've all have around the same intelligence. So,
I think you have the best.
yeah, actually.
Well, to hear that, I want to try practicing my medicine some more so I can look for other plant and or poisons or stuff I can use for weaponry.
You could be doing that. You could be picking plants as you go and trying to collect stuff.
Mm-hmm. So would that be an investigation, a medicine?
I would put
Perception.
that under what you're picking. Would be a nature, really.
I was gonna say it probably would be more a nature check since it's focused specifically on plants.
Yeah.
Sorry, my lights are falling.
Nope, you're fine. So do you want to be working on picking up plants to see if you can get some usable material?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, that'll be nature. Okay, so a 16 from Mark. All right, can I get then, we'll do next will be Twitch. Can I get a stealth roll?
Yes, you can.
Nice.
Nat 20.
Oh man, my roll 20 froze on me. I have no new things.
Isabella, can I get a perception?
18.
All right. And
So far, so
Vanessa,
good.
can I get, if you have access?
As soon as roll 20 loads,
Okay.
Refresh?
I'm refreshing it now.
Okay.
Because
I forget.
the last thing I had access to was when you were testing out your rolls and you had got that 9 and a nat 20.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the last roll that wow, the page is unresponsive.
Okay. But yeah, so you guys are starting to walk through. This is like a very unique group dynamic now, is like, as you're going through, Mark is looking around for plants. You're finding a few samples and specimens that look interesting that you're not sure if they'll be great for medicine, but they might help out in the poison land that you're starting to pull a couple of from. Meanwhile, as you're doing this, Twitch is behind you occasionally, like messing up things that you do to make it look more. To make it look
That's kind
more.
of what I imagine Twitch doing is like a brush with just brushing the tracks away.
No, but what she's doing is like much more intense. Of after you like pull a few plants of a certain thing, she comes up and like rakes through it so that way it looks like an animal walkthrough as opposed to things being specifically cut or pulled. Mm-hmm. And just making it look like an animal came through as opposed to a person picking flowers.
Sorry, keep going.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I love favored terrain because while traveling for an hour or more in the terrain, difficult terrain doesn't slow us. We can't become lost except by magical means. I remain alert to danger even when I'm engaged, like in tracking. I can also move stealthily at a normal pace while I'm alone, and I can find twice as much food if I'm foraging. And boy, does tracking is nice. Yeah, I was just reading through it just to make sure I could do that. So it says I double my proficiency bonus.
Okay, so +4. Plus your wisdom.
Which means, okay, so proficiency is just a plus
+2
right now.
Days on a skill.
So my survival will be a 6.
Nice. Meanwhile, Isabella, you every now and then are just jumping into the very nice. Guys, you got 2 nat 20s in this group here.
Oh no, we're using it when we're not in combat.
Meanwhile, Isabella, every now and then you drop into your hawk vision just to like search out the area. You send them up for a little bit to get like an overview and then send them back down. You're right now seeing like a very normal forest feel. Like the only thing weird about this area is that thank you to someone for something.
Longshot137 just joined the party.
Welcome to the party. We appreciate having you here. So far everything looks like a very normal forest. The only thing that's like very throwing and very weird is that it just has this gray bluish tint to things. But your hawk catches like off in the distance there is a fawn that moves, or a small amount of deer that move out of the way when they like hear that you guys are coming. You see that there are other birds around, that there are squirrels and other small animals, a rabbit every now and then. But for what you know and what you've heard is this kind of terrible, awful place, it's kind of just the woods right now.
Fair enough.
Meanwhile, Vanessa, Twitch showed you where to start, and you were just able to take off from there. Like, you're kind of surprised that other people can't see it. Like how there's the constant dragging, slight depression around everything.
Yeah.
And you're able to like just find it. It almost is like a game trail. And at times you see a game trail that like intersects it, but it doesn't throw you off at all. You start like just continue going like in the direction that you need. And after a little bit, because you're like now in your natural terrain, you understand this area very well, you realize something weird, which is that the path really doesn't alter very much, even after a mile or after 2 miles. It is heading in a relatively straight line from some point of origin, which you just don't know where the distance is at this point. But you think that if at one point you end up getting off of it, like, you could vaguely triangulate back where that, somewhere along that line where our point of origin would be.
And it's just, we haven't even gone like right or left since leaving the farm. It's just straight.
It's, except for trees or like large...
Except for going around things, it's basically a straight line.
Yeah. And you have like a few awkward moments where you actually start, as you go a little thicker in, you start seeing that there is, if you weren't a ranger, difficult terrain, that they don't go around shrubs and underbrush. They actually move through it and around, like barely around it. That for normal traveling people, like, that would slow you down. You would get some thickets in your clothing and whatnot, but you're just able to keep going through. But, like...
And that's what they did, too. They just went right through the shrubs and stuff.
Yeah. Like, you can see that they did move things around, that there are some broken branches, like, in between it. But instead of going around it, they just kind of went through it.
Well, they are kind of shrubs and branches and...
Like Uncle Bill move.
I don't get the reference. I'm sorry.
I don't get the reference either.
The shrubs.
Translation from Nav. The shrubs are telling their uncles, who are also shrubs, to move out of the way so they can get through the space.
Yes.
Ah, okay. Something like that.
Bill was just the name I came up with.
Good job. Randomly thinking of names, I mean that.
Shrub Moses.
There we go. But yeah, it's definitely, like, the most unnatural feel that you have is the fact that this path is, like, straight. That they never try to go for the least resistance. It's just constant.
That is very weird.
Almost like they had a directive.
They were told where to go, and they went there. Just that direction. Move.
But I'm going to say also, so with a nat 20, that keeps you on the trail for quite a while, where you're able to just really follow everything and not have to adjust yourself, recalculate, resituate yourself in any way. You just are able to keep going. That the hours start passing by for everybody. You're getting that, not that you're marching fast, you're going at a normal pace, I would take. But that it's starting to get that monotonous point, especially for our two city dwellers who are not as used to forest life as the other two. And
We're used to traveling.
yeah, you're used to roads and streets and people, and this is like forests, trees. There's a rock, there's a tree, there's another tree, but not squirrel, but not much more than that. And when do you want to stop for a bit?
Probably about lunchtime. Get something to eat.
Okay. Is that good for everybody?
Yeah.
Alright. Do you guys have rations or food for easy consumption?
I know I have rations, but I can also
Same.
find that food.
It will just take you a little bit you would have to go off and do it for an hour and then come back with a ton of food.
Which you
Yeah,
could do,
rations.
just saying.
Oh, like she'd put it forward. It's like, if we have rations, we can eat those, or I could go find us food if you guys wanted to sit and rest.
Because
I'm
if
fine
you
with
are
rations.
going till lunchtime, you guys, being Isabella, Twitch, and Mark, are getting pretty tired.
How about we take a midday sleep?
And Renessa can watch out for us.
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody only needs to sleep for 4 hours a day.
Heritage, man. It's weird.
If that's the plan, it will take you into night when you wake up. Doable. Like, you're welcome to. I'm just pointing it out.
Isabella will look at Renessa and be like, okay, so how long did we just travel into the forest?
You
What time
guys.
did the sun rise, Dion?
Huh?
What time did the sun rise?
You would figure that you have been walking for about 5 hours at this moment.
5 hours.
So that means that you have traveled, because Renessa doesn't get slowed down by anything, about 12 miles? Hold on, wait, I can math. 15 miles into the forest.
Jeez.
If nothing else, at least a nap is in order.
Yeah.
Like, if we do a short rest, will that
If-
stave off?
If you guys rest for at least 3 hours, I'll say, then you could walk back to town and not feel exhausted, but you would still, when you got back to town, because that would be 5 hours later, you would probably need some rest.
That's what I was thinking. I'm trying to think, is it going to be doable to get back to town without
Thank you.
sitting here?
The great tea fight continued.
At this point, I'm just expecting to camp out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's a question. Do we want to take 3 hours to rest and then continue on?
I think that'd be
And
the
then-
best bet.
At least try to get to the source of this. It's probably going to be our best bet.
I don't want to waste 8 hours.
Yeah, just to come all the way back here tomorrow.
Well, I mean, if we did the full rest here, or at least if we did the short rest and then traveled for a distance and then tried doing normal sleep schedule, camping out here, instead of going back to town, we can still make it there, but then also ensure that we have all of our abilities if we have to fight something larger than just needle blights.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Okay. So rest 3 hours and then continue on.
Yeah, until
rest
night.
for a bit here, get you guys get some rest in since you guys didn't get to do that last night, and then we'll travel until it starts getting dark again, where we'll make camp and then try and resume normal sleep schedules since we keep messing our sleep schedules up.
Yes, miss, 4 hours at a time. We do.
That just means she can cover 2 shifts when it comes to doing shifts
It is
Yeah.
true.
for sleep.
First shift, I get my 4-hour chunk in the middle, and then the end shift.
Because she does have night vision.
I have dark vision too, so
I think Mark is the only one who doesn't.
I think so.
I have
Yeah.
torches, though.
Humans.
We just let Mark sleep the whole time.
It's so weird to hear all the casters say they're letting the non-casters sleep through the night. It's like against everything I've ever learned in D&D.
Because he's the only one that we need
Well, I
if we
mean-
need him.
I'm the only one
could
without
also-
magic. I'm
If
the only
I'm
one
looking
without dark
for-
vision.
if I'm looking for food, some of that will probably be game, which will need a fire to cook. So
Which is
having
easily done.
having a small fire would be beneficial for any creatures that might try and attack us in the middle of the night. So Mark would still be able to see.
And I can
Also-
make a fire.
And also, I can always cook it like I cooked it in the
That made
place
it
if we really need to.
No.
It made it taste really weird.
It was the issue of certain areas being overcooked and certain areas being undercooked and certain areas being charred.
We also had the safety of a fireplace instead of starting a forest fire. I'd rather make a campfire.
And yeah,
I mean, with prestidigitation, all you really have to worry about is texture.
And rawness.
Yeah. And any disease that comes with it.
Do you have prestidigitation?
Oh.
I was like, Twitch, do you have prestidigitation?
No.
Okay.
I know I sure as hell don't.
Then this conversation, like, you have that moment to be like, yeah, we could just, like, fix the food that way. And then that moment
And
of
then
realizing
like,
no one has the spell.
No one can do this.
oh, this is perfect.
You knew somebody else who used to do that part. That wasn't you.
Mental note for later, learn prestidigitation.
We'll have Mark learn it. No big deal.
I'll just take a class in, like, sorcerer or something. It's fine.
Just
magic
one or two
initiate.
level. Yeah. Just a level dip into wizard.
All right. So what you guys you're camping out for team mini rest.
Yeah.
Renessa, what are you doing during their 3 hours of rest?
Can I stay in the area while I look for food?
You can, but it will be at disadvantage because you're just in a shorter area then. And you, as a hunter or a ranger, know that game doesn't tend to come by people smells, so it's just a little harder to accomplish. You could still do it.
I'll hold off until we make camp for the night, because I think y'all are just gonna sleep instead.
I'm going to have a bite to eat and then sleep for the 3 hours.
I was about to say, you are also all eating lunch.
Yeah, we'll eat rations now. And then...
Have some good food for dinner.
I have like 10 days worth of rations if anyone doesn't have any.
Same.
I have a day of rations.
I have 5.
Okay, so we're all good on food.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll just eat our rations, and when we make camp for the night, while they set up camp, I'll go look for food.
Okay, cool. So then everybody just knock off one ration for now.
Yes.
And you are going to keep an eye out while they all rest?
I'll just sit there and...
I would like for you to, 1, roll a perception for me, and
Okay.
2, roll a d12 for me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perception is wisdom, and I get to double my proficiency on it because we're in the forest.
Okay, correction. I have 20 days worth of rations. I came prepared knowing Isabella.
I love that you have 20 and she has 1.
Actually,
I
correction, I had
can't
5.
Aw.
I read my thing wrong.
Damn, I like that story narrative so much better.
You know what we can do? Mark? Add 4, I'm going to just get rid of my rations. and then we're just going to play it off that way.
I like the idea that, you know, we're going off into the woods to hunt these things. And
I had 1 on me.
Isabella's just there like, so I need to pack a lunch.
Yeah.
That's all I did. I don't have rations in my equipment anymore.
Nice.
I just ate my
Whereas-
one thing. It's like, oh.
Whereas I plan ahead because I know this and I know how she is, and therefore I bring extra.
Cool.
15 perception and a 9 on the d12.
Nice. Sorry, just fill in something. Destroying my my little side area.
It works out.
Have you thought about having a little, like, section over here on the wall to where you could just place books, like a little cabinet thing?
I'm right against the wall is what the issue is.
I'm not talking about, like, an actual, like, cabinet, but, like, where you can put papers. Just a little, like, stacked thing, and you can put paperwork in it.
The answer is no, and we should talk more about this whenever we take a break.
Okay.
Flip into a page, flip into a page.
Like a very thin shell.
Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-day.
And this way is like how I get out, so I have to not block it too much. Oh, you know, first world problems. All right,
I'm
you
assuming you mean something like this, but on the wall.
Kinda, not quite.
Not quite, but
Anyway,
In that
that's
area.
that's break talk.
Vanessa, roll for me another d20 because you were rolling. Oh, wait, that was for perception. I am so sorry. I have forgotten what I was talking about for a little bit. I was looking up like your survival stuff right then, and I'm like, how much would you be able to get from this?
No, that's perception.
Yep, I apologize. I've forgotten what I've already told you, even though it was 2 minutes ago. So, you keep an eye out through everything. You see a couple of small animals. You do see a rabbit, like, kind of come near and then scoot off after a little bit, and some birds that fly by. But otherwise, it is a pretty uneventful time. You do also see that some clouds covers coming in.
Yep.
That might be a little bit of weather that you'll have to deal with, but it's not like storm clouds. It's some gray clouds coming your way.
Maybe some rain showers later.
Maybe some rain showers later.
Hey, we can finally get Mark to take a shower.
I take more showers than you do.
It's so weird. They're like muttering insults at each other as they sleep. It's
Do
crazy.
that with my siblings IRL. We yell across the house.
Like, Vanessa, you just like at one point are like, "Heh, it looks like it's gonna rain," and you hear Isabella go, "Mark, take shower. Mark, I shower." Like, it's so weird.
Out of
Sleeping is-
character. It's gonna rain. I'm a cat.
The question is, do you hear this?
But you guys are able to get through your 3 hours with no inconveniences. So you've got within you another 5 hours of travel before, exhaustion.
Levels of exhaustion.
Yeah.
Yay. I've probably like braided some grass or whatever just to keep me company while I pay attention.
I thought you were drawing. Because you draw
No.
people when they sleep.
I am not Doty from Critical Role.
I don't know who that is. No spoilers.
None said.
There is no spoilers.
None said.
That's all I'm saying.
Vanessa does not draw you while you sleep, but she's got, as you guys wake, and she wakes you up, she's got this little small pile of just braided grass together.
Okay.
Alright. And you are able to all continue on for a bit more.
Yay.
Alright. Can I get, since it's now long enough, another nature from Mark, unless you would like to change what you were doing? And I'll be getting another survival from Renessa, and perception from Isabella, and stealth from...
I'm sure I can't help with the tracking thing.
Alright. Renessa, then you get advantage.
Ooh. Alright, and I'm just gonna roll it twice because of having the doubled proficiency.
Yeah.
First one is a 16. What is the second one? $16.
Alright. Yeah. You're able to still stay on the path that starts getting a little bit more difficult to follow, but you see that's partially because the terrain is changing.
Yeah.
The forest is actually starting to thin out a little bit more, which is why you're starting to feel it this way. It isn't going to like a grass or a plains land. It at one point you like go down to like check the texture of the ground, and it's got this weird mossy pebbly mix to it that like hits in full areas.
Swamp.
If it was swamp, it would almost be a dried swamp. So there
Well,
is...
this blue area is different than most other areas in the world.
Yeah.
But it's still a forest?
It's the trees are starting to thin out as you keep going,
So
But
we
you
may
are
be getting towards the edge.
but you are in a forest still.
Okay. So the trees are thinning and the ground is more pebbly.
Yeah. But meanwhile, tree, you're able to twitch, you're able to get the ground like still covering it up for everybody pretty well, and it's easier now that Mark isn't picking flowers or doing stuff. What you're really doing is you're trying to keep everybody together on the same path to just minimize your disturbance to
Everybody
the area.
follow the footsteps.
Kind of deal. You're not spreading out too much.
Does there sound like water anywhere nearby?
Not particularly, no. You do all notice, like, as you're moving on, that there are some evening clouds rolling in that possibly could be leading to some weather. And otherwise, you're keeping an eye out on the area. You still see an occasional, like, creature flying about through your hawk vision, but nothing big, nothing outrageous. And you can see a little bit farther ahead when you send the hawk up, Isabella, that it does look like the trees are a lot less clumped together, and there's starting to be a little bit more of an underbrush situation going on. Which, again, would be bad if you guys weren't with a ranger.
That's why I'm glad we have a ranger.
Yep.
But you're able to continue for another 5 hours, really pushing through for the rest of the day. With minimal interruptions going on.
Woo!
And as the sun really is starting to set a little bit, you are getting a slight occasional spritz from the air. It's not raining on you, but you're getting that like quick drizzle that then stops as you keep going, and then it drizzles a little bit more. Nothing consistent, but there is a little bit.
That little pre-rain thing.
Yeah, that little pre-rain or post-rain thing.
So we
I
might
think
be
we
like
should-
on the edge of it versus actually being in the middle of the clouds.
Possibly, yes.
I think we should make camp before it gets bad.
Yep.
Yeah, sun is setting, which means light will dim and make it harder for some to travel. Looking directly at Mark.
Yeah, I'm
Well-
just nodding in agreement. Just, yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Cool. Do y'all want to set up camp while I go find us food?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll start looking for a decent place, a little bit off of our path to set up a camp.
Okay.
I'll wait until that spot is found before actually going off. That way I'm like not coming back and going, where the hell did everybody go?
Yeah.
I'll ask Vanessa, hey, you want to help me find a good spot? Since you
do it.
know,
Since I'm the foresty person.
since you do more forest. Because closer to like a main road or something, I got it, but you're a terrain.
Do I have to roll anything? Or can
yeah, I heard Twitch was about to say something before.
Okay.
Oh, it can wait till part of setting up camp.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, then can I get another specific survival check from Renessa?
Okay.
With advantage because I'm helping.
Yeah. You guys are looking together.
That's 24 and 24.
I like how it's half your other one.
I was like that. Yeah. Half.
But yeah, you start looking around, you find an area that's a little bit more upraised, so that way if it actually does start raining, it's not going to pool down on you. There's not much in the land of outcropping, so it's not like you're going to get a full rock covering over you cave kind of situation. But you're at least able to find a couple of trees that are close together to one another that could keep a decent bit of rain off of you, just in case that's what you're concerned about.
Yeah.
Start setting up my 2-person tent.
Yep. Figure out what to do with that later.
Can I
Of
attempt
course you would
to,
carry a tent.
camouflage the camp?
Yes, you can. I'll take a stealth for that.
13.
Okay. And Mark, is there anything you would like to do for setting up for the night?
Start clearing out an area for our campfire.
Okay.
That way there's not too much growth nearby to catch, but enough that we have a decent fire to cook and such.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's
And
move you guys over to...
A battle map, because we're all going to die.
No. Also, that person's not there. So... darn it, how do I get rid of this thing? Cool, there we go. And...
What's up with the random white spot?
the random white spots are difficult terrain if you're walking through them. Sorry, it's what I normally mark on plain battle maps, so it's something I'm just very used to. If you see any hashed lines through, it means it is difficult terrain.
Okay.
Okay.
So, like, those areas are just, like, extra thorny bushes or tangly vines that you're just like, oh, if I walk on this, it'll take a little bit more to walk through.
Makes sense.
I remembered.
And then, like, this is camp.
Well, you can camp wherever you would like to be, and I said you had a couple of trees, so when you pick an area, I will give you an extra tree.
Probably pretty much where we're at. Looks good.
Yeah, probably like right around in here.
You should be able to move your characters.
Yeah, just
Nope.
okay.
And there's suddenly an extra tree on top of there.
Cool.
Yeah, just put like the tent between the trees.
Mm-hmm. So if you go hunting, Renessa, I will help set up the cook fire and work together on this.
I totally forgot to turn music back on. Darn,
I'll go
just
find
realized that.
How dare you?
The things you notice way too late into the game. And you guys... Oh! It even has a slight rainy sound, which was really not intentional.
Slight?
I think it's
I think
supposed...
it's more than a slight.
I think it's supposed to be wind. We'll stop that one then. We'll do a different sound effect. There we go.
I mean, that one was fine. It was rather fitting.
Yeah. And where would you like your campfire?
Probably about midway.
Like if the tent is set up like somewhere around in here, then we could put the campfire like there.
I want it roughly middle of all of this somewhere. So that works.
Okay, cool.
Cool. I'm gonna go find us food.
Okay.
Try not to die while I'm not here.
Another survival check.
Don't get lost.
All the survival checks are Renessa today.
I mean, it is her thing.
It is your thing, but even I will say I feel like I'm like attacking you with survival checks.
15 for finding food.
Yes, you are able to find food for tonight with enough left over for there to be an easy meal for the next day and a lunch for you guys because you get double the amount.
Yeah, find twice as much food while foraging. So, yay, survival in favored terrain.
Is there a particularly tall tree in this area?
So all of these trees that you see here are like full bushy happy trees that you can climb, and they're all of a height that would put you above normal elevation. There are also these trees over here, which they have more of that. They have more of the weird look to them that you're accustomed with trees in this area. It's not that they're bare. It is just that they, like, don't look like trees you're used to. All of the trees around here have this blue tint. They just look extra strange to you.
Okay.
And then, the little bits down here are, like, rocks and stumps of things that have fallen over at one point and just never grown anymore, but would be there.
Okay. Because I have the idea of climbing to the top of a tree and taking a look around.
All right, go for it.
Okay.
You have, like, a plus to your climb that gives you, like, a climb speed, doesn't it?
I have a 20-foot climb speed.
Yeah, so you don't even have to make, like, a check. You can just go up into a tree.
And then... Perception? 22.
Okay.
To look around.
Uh,
Anything.
Yeah, you're looking around, trying to keep an eye out on everything. You're doing this while Renessa is out hunting. That you catch her at one point. You see a flash of the spring-colored hair of leaves going through and being deadly accurate with a bow.
Does she accidentally burst a rabbit into bits from a critical?
No, she does not. She did not roll a critical here.
I'm not rolling attack rolls on these on rabbits.
You're just doing the overall. Really what it is you see her, like, hunting around at one point, and what she finds is, like, a full rabbit den. And she just... I don't want to be, like, in a rough way. She goes into the rabbit den and is able to grab all of them and have them all for food for the next coming up.
Oh, look, more animals that she stuck her hands into.
I mean, when you fend for yourself, you kind of have to get used to having to deal with dead animals.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree. I'm just giving you crap for it. Because there's
Okay,
been
I'll just keep
cows
giving you crap for not being able to see in the
and
dark.
chickens. So
Fair.
yeah, I mean, it's just progressively getting, like, there.
But while you're keeping an eye out on everything, you don't see anything else particularly off-putting. You can see that you don't catch any other lights or anything in the area. There's no smoke or anything in the area from, like, another civilization or another group. Got it, 22. You do see something that catches your eye a little bit. It is a bit farther east from your location. But even with how the trees are kind of sparsed out around here, there is an obvious lack of trees in an area to the east, a bit of a distance, and it's just a little hard to tell with the light going down, like how far away it is. But there's definitely something out that way to the east. And you guys have been heading in a, like, more northerly direction. But there is a odd-looking lack of trees over that way.
Okay. Oh. Can I see the Black Keep from where we are? Like,
No.
off on the horizon? Or would it be...
Yeah, I feel like you're a bit too far to see it.
Okay.
Oh man, we didn't even tell Giles where we're going. We're just like, we're not staying here. We're not coming back tonight. Don't wait up for us. And then we just completely disappeared.
You guys spent your entire day traveling, so you got the full 24, 25 miles.
We're
I
getting
thought
out
we
of town.
traveled a lot.
And I will admit, I am terrible at, like, personally, Lisa is terrible at distance to how far you can actually see to, like, spatial awareness, so I could screw that up at times. 24 miles, I think, is a little too far for you to be able to see the Black Keep.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm happy that I am correct in that assumption there.
I'm nearsighted, so, like, 10 foot could be too far for me to see.
I am also nearsighted, a foot away, and I'm questioning your facial features, so yeah.
Exactly.
That's where I'm at.
Facial features a foot away?
I am really blind without my glasses. Like, really blind.
I can see general shapes, but details are pretty much non-existent.
Exactly. I know you have a nose from, like, a few feet away, but I can't see it.
Like, I can get your vague facial features from, like, maybe, like, 6 inches to a foot away, but, like, that's about it. It's just kind of blurry spots on the face.
Welcome to
Like people who say that they, like, their eyes are bad, and then you see them in college and they don't have their glasses. It's like, your eyes aren't that bad.
Yeah, welcome to A Call to Rising. Apparently, we are all blind here.
I'm just wearing contacts.
Yep, all blind here. So you
Yeah, I
guys...
can actually
I
get
can see my own
contacts.
fingerprints.
So you guys, being Mark, Isabella, and Twitch, are going to sleep while Vanessa takes first watch?
Sure.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're slowly hitting that exhaustion point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all, we bad sleep now.
Oh, I'm already gone.
And there
Oh,
is a
second.
2-person tent set up.
Dibs. My tent.
I just have like my bedroll laid out because I actually have one, and it's just like on the ground, and that's what I'm on. Like for watch, I'll probably be up in the tree, but I have a bedroll out for when I need it.
And I'll take 4th watch.
Okay.
Or second.
Third.
No. I'll take 2nd watch. So Vanessa can sleep during the 2nd and 3rd.
Okay.
Nessa, then Isabella.
Yeah.
Then
I'll take 3rd because I'm used to being up early.
okay, so Twitch and Mark are going to take 3rd together. You
I
can.
thought we
Wouldn't
I thought we
hurt.
were letting Mark sleep through.
We
He
made
decided against it.
we made jokes about it, but you also could.
Mark
I mean,
needs
you
sleep.
need sleep too. So
I mean, and then I just help whoever's up for like the last watch because 4 hours. There we go.
he's gonna be getting up at sunrise anyway. I mean, that's a good 8 hours.
We could have Twitch on 3rd watch, Vanessa and Mark on 4th, and make it 4 watches.
That works.
Because someone only needs to sleep 4 hours, which is really cool. And
It helps
in
in
this
this
particular
situation.
aspect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Vanessa, can I get another perception or a perception from you?
And we're still in a forest. I still have that increased bonus.
Correct.
Oh yeah.
I am also in the tent.
Twitch, are you attempting to stay up in the tree while you sleep? It will be difficult. There's a chance you could fall out.
How are we supposed to wake you up for your shift?
Push him out of the
Throw
tree.
rocks.
Yeah, you know what? I'll stay up in the tree.
All right. All right. We'll get to that in a moment then. What is your perception, Radissa?
10.
All right. You're keeping an
We all
eye
die.
out. You're keeping an eye out. Everything looks like it's going pretty good through the night. You don't hear as many like nighttime animal noises. It gets a bit quieter. And for a little bit there is like during your first bit of the shift there is a slight pickup in the rain where it is now like drizzling, you could say, as opposed to the occasional spritz.
Yeah.
But
It's
otherwise,
starting to work its way through.
yeah. Otherwise, it goes through fine for your shift. Are you keeping the fire going through the night?
Yeah, it wouldn't be like what we like a really high. It's just going to be like the coals, but easily stoked if we need more flames.
Yeah,
So like,
it's
she'd probably add a little to it as needed, just to keep it kind of going.
you do have to add a little bit to it because of the rain. Like if you want to keep it going, you'll have to tend it for a bit to that part.
So I'm going to mention this next time. I was intentionally going to put like up a little like umbrella thing over the fire that was high enough to keep the rain off of, but high enough not to catch fire, but low enough to keep the rain off. But I will do that next time.
Cool. You'll also have to explain to me what this little umbrella thing is.
And
It'd be like
maybe
a
next
teepee.
time we're in town, we should buy a waterproof tarp.
That will also be helpful.
All the things that you realize when you're back out in the woods.
And Renessa's just like, nah, I'm not phased.
I'm in a tree like a leopard.
Yep.
The question is,
You
will you
are an
fall out of the
adorable
tree?
cat in a tree.
You're out. You're a couple hours go fine. That you go wake up Isabella for her shift, and are able to go meditate for yours.
Sweet.
We'll let her go into the tent so that way it's not raining. Too bad.
She's just gonna use her bedroll that's out.
No, I was in the tent with you.
I know. But as we swap shifts.
She will thank you, but probably decline the offer. We've only known each other for 4 days, and Sharing a tent with a random person.
I'm liking this night. This is a good night.
I give this night a solid 10.
That's awesome.
I also give it a solid 10.
Twitch, can I get a dex save with a disadvantage?
Oh dear.
Thud.
My claws don't help me.
They do. They do. But it's still a disadvantage roll.
It's raining.
It's not as high of a DC.
Eight.
So close.
During the night, you do have a bit where you roll and start to roll out, and you don't, like, hit the ground, but you do have to really catch yourself, and you are down a bit. And Isabella just kind of, like, head turns over in that direction, because there is a sudden noise behind you. As you see that Twitch is, like, now hanging on to the tree.
Hang in there, kitty.
Oh gosh.
Just reposition.
You just take the lower branch and, like, clump together then. But it also then feels like no time at all has passed before Isabella is waking you up for your shift.
Okay. So then, perception?
Yep.
Let's see if we get another 10.
Nope.
Aw, you had to be all different and roll high. Not
Sorry.
cool.
Now you see everything.
Like that group of blades coming up on us.
It's after, like, Isabella goes back into the tent and goes back to sleep. You position yourself back in your higher branch and look out into the area. And you do catch, like, some movement off a bit. Looks like a couple of creatures low to the ground. You're, like, squinting and keeping an eye out. And you see eyes glint and glisten for a moment. You're like, looks like there's some wolves, like, in the area. They, like, look at, like, your tent area for a bit. And, like, you can see them, like, getting a little closer. But then they take off.
Okay. Just keeping an eye in that direction.
Yeah, as we're slowly getting towards, like, sunrise is happening and everything, the rain also starts to go down. You can see them off in the distance, but they're also moving farther north, so they don't seem to be sticking around. And it is now for the last shift.
Cool.
So we have Renessa and Mark. And you could both go separate or give one of you advantage
Perception?
for perception.
What's your perception?
Um,
Let's give you advantage because you've got a +6.
wow. Good thing you
Advantage.
gave me a advantage there. Because I just rolled a net.
Hey!
Hey!
That's why we do advantage.
There you go. Renessa is, like, keeping the main eye out while Mark is helping to reset up the fire a bit, like, taking care of the morning camp kind of stuff. So Renessa doesn't have to. She's able to just keep an eye out.
Get
Twitch,
breakfast
do you
going.
mention anything about the wolves during the night?
I'll point them out to Renessa.
So she knows to, like, kind of keep an eye out in that direction, and you also then catch sight of them. They seem to
Okay.
be, like, pacing around up that way, and you feel like they are considering you.
Okay.
and your group. You're not sure precisely what's keeping them back, but
She will probably pull her bow out and just have it ready. If they make a move towards them, then it's an easy, quick, ready action and yell out, "Wolves attacking!"
and
She's just gonna be ready in case, since it seems like they're considering.
okay. Yeah, as morning like fully comes in place, you also get a pretty good count of them. That it looks like there's at least 6 of them.
Ooh.
So it is a pack of wolves.
A little hunting party.
But they don't actually like come close enough that you feel threatened, but they are like inspecting you every now and then, it looks like. But then they also head off. But with that, you guys do get to your morning. Yes, Mark?
I get breakfast going, and noting her having the bow ready, I have my weapon nearby.
Okay. There is the smell of freshly cooked rabbit for Isabella and Twitch to awaken to. And as you guys are getting up for your morning, we will take a short break here. Excuse me. And be back. I would say, you guys good for an actual, 5-minute break?
Are
Yeah.
we talking about 5-minute or hour?
No. I was actually talking about a 5-minute break. Or do we want to just say we're taking a 10-minute break and just do a 10-minute break?
Let's just do a 10.
Let's just do a 10. All
All
right.
I need water snack.
So we will come back at 9:50 then to continue on the adventure. Thank you for sticking around with us so far. All right. We will be right back.
almond milk is like the best thing in the world.
Dark chocolate almond milk is the best thing in the world. That's a great place to come back to. I love it.
Did you go live right as I said that?
Yeah, I was saying I was starting back up the stream. Yes, we're having this fight on live Twitch TV right now. Welcome back, everybody, to Dark Chocolate Almond Milk.
And
We are not sponsored by any product. But please, go check out our sponsors at So Nerdware, Tabletop Loot, and the Mistress of Maths, Devin Rue. More information below. And we're back.
Well, that's what to be known for.
Yeah. We are... You guys have slept through the night. Yeah, everything was fine and successful. There was the note of some wolves, as well as, before going to bed, Twitch noting some disturbance off to the east. The rain subsides in the early morning, so that way you're not walking around in rain at this point.
does Twitch tell us about said disturbances in the east?
If they were the wolves, then once everyone was awake, I was like, we had wolves watching us, but they decided to not attack us.
There were the wolves.
Before you went to bed, you noticed something off in the east.
Oh, the clearing.
Trees.
Yeah, the clearing. Yeah. That's what I meant by the disturbance, because you could tell it wasn't a tree area.
It looks like there's an odd clearing to the east of here a ways.
That's what I was waiting for. I'm going to sit in my tent and send my hawk to go check it out, and then come back to me.
Okay. Are you just going to be in vision that entire time?
Yes.
Okay. Hold on while I math. Because damn you. Damn you and me having to do math now.
I know I can only communicate with it for the spell.
Yeah.
I can see through its eyes.
So, you're saying to it to just fly east?
Fly until it sees a big clearing, check it out, and then fly back.
Okay. And are you keeping in vision the entire time or not?
Yes.
Okay. I'm doing math. Don't mind me. And what is... Okay, yeah. So...
Because it shouldn't be too far if Twitch could see it from up in a tree.
I'm again going to point out that I am not always great on distances. So it is a distance, and yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's not like it's going to have to fly for 5 hours to see it.
Correct.
We may spend like 20, 30 minutes here looking for it, but not 5 hours.
It does push you into like the 45-minute time. That's what I'm going to go with here.
For there and return?
No, for there.
For there? Okay, I can always vamp it back.
Yeah. But you're watching and like keeping an eye through this, and you see tree cover, mainly tree cover, perception.
Okay. Perception for it.
For
natural 20.
I was about to say perception for you because it's you looking through it.
I think Find Familiar, I use its keen eyes.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I forgot it has keen eyes because that's why you chose a hawk. Yeah, so you're keeping an eye out through all of this.
It's a natural 20 either way.
Yeah, it's a natural 20 either way. Don't worry about that part. I was about to stop talking at that point, but we are continuing our conversation. We will finish our sentences. You, watching through, get a good eye cover here on everything that's going around. You can see that the decreased amount of trees continues for like most of it. getting a little bit thinner as you're going that way, as it's like looking out and looking up and everything. And as it is passing through things, it is going a little fast that it's hard to like catch small movement, but you don't see any large movements of anything in this direction. So you don't see wolves, you don't really see deer or bears or cats or anything that you think might be in this area. Goats. You're used to large goats. There's no large goats in this area either. It continues out, and as really Isabella's just sitting there while you guys are taking a bit more time in your morning, getting a little bit extra, like, together to be fully rested from everything, that you see now as you're, like, circling over this way, that there is the remains of stone buildings that are covered over with some vines and some shrubs, that there seems to be several of these buildings altogether.
Okay.
That many of them have fallen or are partially broken down, whether it, like, for what reason you can't tell from this, but you can see that there's openings into most of them that you could, like, get into. You see that there are some piles of rocks that are, like, it looks like it had just fallen straight down, so there's a pile of stuff. A lot of it overgrown, but there's also an area that is, like, actual, it's too planned out, but there are trees, like, in very specific places. They are too evenly spread out for it to have been, like, anything else.
So kind of like a grove or...
Like a grove or an orchard, maybe?
Okay. So possibly this could be our abandoned farm out here.
That's a possibility, yeah.
Okay.
And, like, getting the instructions of, like, a clearing, your hawk is believing that this could be a clearing here, and does, like, a turnaround to, like, start to come back.
Pop it back.
Okay.
Stand up and relay the info to the group, going, okay, I think what Twitch saw was that abandoned farm that we knew out here. It's 45 minutes flight. It's going to definitely be a decent walk out of our way if we want to check out that. I suggest probably let's finish with this trail. At least then we might have an idea where to go next.
I do think that we should mark this place so we know exactly where it is when we come back.
I was going to take my dagger and carve pretty much another dagger into it.
Okay. You clearly mark the trees, that way you know a location.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Renessa would have raised her hands to protest this, but you had already started and was just like, no.
Yes.
We don't want physical markings on the trees like that to alert any of the other things that might be here to our presence. Too late.
We're not used to rangers.
Do you guys want to make an initiative off to try to stop her?
I was with peanut butter in my mouth.
I'm sorry. You can do a nod or a shake of your head if you just want to give a one-word response.
Well, as Isabel would have taken her dagger to go to the tree to carve it in, Renessa would have been like, no, don't! But wouldn't actually step forward to do that because she's not the hands-on fighty type. Unless she absolutely has to.
I rolled a 10, so if someone wants to try to roll better than that, to see if they can get through to me before I start.
The tens. The tens. We are haunted by the tens tonight.
Could be worse.
Yeah, it could absolutely be worse.
Actually, can I do... Because I would have just yanked her back.
Nope, because it was it's an ish basic thing.
Okay.
So
I would assume he wins at that point.
No, you have a higher dex.
Mm-hmm. You have a +3. I have a +0.
Yeah. So it looks like at this point that Isabella makes her mark just as you're like, no, 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 no. And like, she's already like done the first like great big mark down. Like, what?
I'll be like, after I do the big, I'll be like, bears mark trees. Help.
What's your bear mark?
Anyone?
Isabella, roll in nature.
Twitch and Renessa are just like,
Nature.
Yep.
city people.
Nature.
Wow. You're like, yeah, bears make marks. And so you just like start to make a couple of marks like you think a bear would.
No.
It totally looks like a bear was here, considering you've never been in trees near where a bear has ever been.
I read it in a book once, you know.
Oh yeah, like you read in a book that bears mark trees all the time. Scrape, scrape, scrape. There. Looks just like a bear did it. You're positive of it. Meanwhile, Renessa and Twitch actually look like they do in their cameras right now.
I'll walk up to Renessa for like a high five and be like, good, right?
I'm picking Isabella up and just potato sacking away.
You tried.
Try to grapple me. I don't want to be picked up. I'm upset and grumpy.
And opposing
That's
athletics.
Can I attempt to
That's
disguise his scratch marks on the tree?
Well, I attempt to actually make a mark that would still be natural, but recognized by us.
Okay, so it can be then that... How do we want to do this? Alright, you can pick who it's going to be, and I know the answer is going to be Renessa, to roll a survival where I was going to give disadvantage because of Isabella, but because now you're both doing it together, would have advantage, so you're canceling out, so one of you make a straight roll. For survival.
Do you want that to be me?
Sure.
Mark, you go to pick up Isabella, and...
No, that was just pure strength roll what I did. I haven't done athletics.
Oh, please just add your athletics to that number, then.
Okay, that's a 19.
To your, like, surprise, like, you go to, like, grab onto her to potato sack her, and she actually does that weird, like, hand flip thing to, like, keep you off and goes, no. You've made it look a little better. The issue is she kind of destroyed a good chunk of the bark already. But you think it looks better. It's a little more passable, and it's very noticeable for you guys.
Can I just use it as a scratching post?
Go for it. It's already marked now. We'll just figure out something else for maybe another different sign, because this is a tree in one area. We have to be at that one area to see it.
You
so
are
want to actually make a mark that, like, on the ground where it could be seen from multiple directions.
Yeah, you
But
are
still
like a distance because you wanted to make sure that you were far enough away from the trail of where the blights came from. So you are like off the path.
Yeah, she'd want to go back to the path to do the mark.
So the tree over here is fine.
So this tree over here is interesting, and you go over towards the path and you make an extra little mark that you're, just as a ranger, is very natural for you to do, and you're able to hide it out of the way enough that you're like, this is better.
I'm pouting the whole time.
Well, I felt like we hadn't concluded the Mark to Isabella moment.
giving him the silent treatment.
I start munching on some of the last of the few cookies I have.
Pouting intensifies.
About to say, you look down in your bag and there is one cookie left. You gave some of the cookies to the children.
It's mine. I only got like one out of the entire batch so far. It's mine.
You eat the last cookie.
Oh shit.
This is how lifelong friendships are broken. The last cookie.
The war has started now.
This is like the last melon scene in Ice Age.
I'll pretend that I watched that movie. I think I understand the reference.
I wonder if I can do this stealthily.
I'll send it to you.
You would like to stealthily eat the cookie?
Yes, I would like to.
Roll a stealth. Do not roll a.
Crunch, 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 crunch.
It's you see turn around, like Mark walk away, have that slight sheepish glance over towards Isabella, which Isabella catches completely. Turn back, you hear the rustling of like the bag, and then hunk. Hum hum tum tum tum.
I think it's funny because I look up at my screen, all I see is Twitch and Vanessa. Like they were both leaning in, so like their heads were right next to each other, kind of like.
That's awesome.
It was perfect.
With that, you are out of cookies.
It's a good thing I won't be buying more when we get back to town.
And Vanessa would return from the past as like right after this had happened.
There's an awkward silence going on as there's like crumbs all around Mark's face.
I want my hawk to just like land on his head and just do the whole like towel, kind of just giving him a nice massage.
Understand that those talons do damage.
It cannot do an attack.
It cannot do an attack, but in this situation, I feel like it would do damage.
Just with his hair.
So they're lightly scratching against the skin to let him know, like, hey, I have pointy things here.
Mark, would you like to defend yourself against the bird?
I would. How fast would I have to be to grab it?
Well, it is if you actually want the bird to not attack, but attack. Roll an attack to get the bird to land on Mark's head versus Mark's AC.
Vanessa's just looking at Twitch with raised eyebrows, like the silent.
What would I add to it?
You are going to add +2.
Okay. Yeah, that's it.
No.
So it lands and it goes for his head, but he's able to move just enough out that it is like still within his personal range, like to do stuff. Do you want to try to grab the bird?
I do want to try to grab the bird.
Make an unarmed attack against the bird's AC of 13.
Okay, so what is an unarmed attack? My
It's
strength.
listed in your actions with the attacks. It's at the very, very bottom on D&D Beyond.
It's in that section most characters, unless you're a monk, pay attention to.
I pay attention to it because I have a Warforge that has a -3 in strength. So it's like, he's a rogue. He doesn't need strength.
Did you find it?
Nope.
It's just your.
So if you're looking in your actions tab, you'll see all your attack with your weapons. The very last one listed says unarmed strike.
Nope.
Strength plus proficiency.
There you go.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
So.
Going to have to get me a new bird.
You have a bird. What are you trying to do with said bird?
Bamf it out.
I'm gonna bring it over to Isabella, place it on her shoulder. Do that again, and I'm gonna have it for dinner.
You, grab the bird, walk a few feet over, and right away the bird is just gone. So you are now just face to face with each other.
Don't try to grab me without permission.
You haven't
And
gotten
turn
used to it.
on my heels and walk away.
Roll for me a d8, Isabella.
D8.
Yeah.
Please walk into a tree.
It's an 8.
So, Vanessa, you see that, Isabella is kind of walking towards you in the path, but is just a little bit off, and heading not quite towards the path, but just a little off of it.
You're not heading towards the path, Isabella. You'll get lost if you go that way.
At this point, I don't care. Just walking away from Mark.
Fair, but we're also supposed to be heading east to go explore that farm right now. So
Let's
can
do that
we
later.
walk the path more and then go to the farm?
Let's deal with the path first. The farm is going to be there later. Who knows how long this path will be here?
Never. Back to the path then. I marked it for nothing.
Well,
You marked
no.
it so on our way back we can go to...
I think she says to the farm.
Mm-hmm.
You cut out a little bit there.
You marked it
Well,
to where
the original plan when we had gotten up this morning was to go to the farm and then come back to the path. Which is why we were making the marks so that we could find the path again.
Oh, I was doing it the other way around. I was marking it so if we followed the path back to this point, we could get to the farm.
Miscommunication, I think.
So you guys are still following the trail.
Yes.
Okay.
How old are they in the way that Renessa would understand how Mark and Isabella's age would be?
It's in that land of, you understand that they're if everything was in human years, you are closer to your 30s and they are in their 20s.
Okay, so so internal thoughts of calling them children still fit.
Yeah, and otherwise, you are the oldest member of this party.
Yeah.
Like-
Isabella is only 18.
There's no hiding that part. You are the oldest member of this party.
She's the oldest, and she doesn't even realize she's the oldest because she doesn't even know how old she is anymore.
Yeah, that thing.
pretty
Woo.
much.
Okay. Yeah, she's not going to say anything out loud, but she had thoughts of children. But I guess if we're going back to the path, then we'll go back to the path.
You, as you get there, you adjust your marks a little bit now to know that you were going to go east when you come back down from the north.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Gotcha. Bless you.
But you're going to keep heading north, so can I get a new survival from Vanessa? Perception from Isabella? Twitch, are you still protecting the stealth path?
Sure.
And Mark, what are you doing? You had mentioned you were cartographing before, and I don't think I got a roll from you.
I changed my mind to getting the plants.
Okay, so you're just on plant. Go.
With Renessa around, I don't feel the need to actually, map things out.
Okay.
Otherwise, this time I'm just gonna kind of meditate. Be
Okay.
chill.
You are welcome to just chill and be a person.
I was gonna say, does Twitch want to switch me on perception? I'll do stealth.
If you want.
And we're still in a forest, right?
You are still in a forest, yes.
Yeah, let's switch. Do stealth if you want to do
25 for my survival.
Very nice.
perception, because I think we have the same perception.
I have a 3.
Same. So it's the same. Oh yeah. I'll do stealth.
I can't see.
Do you mind if I help with the perception?
You said you were meditating, so you are not involved in this role.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm okay with that.
Cool. Yeah, so you guys continue on. Isabella, you were watching Twitch for part of yesterday. Like, how she deals with nature-y stuff to try to do it this way. You picked it up a little bit. You're working on it, but you're still able to very successfully, like, keep people quiet, cover up a little bit of trails as things go on. Like, and you're keeping your hawk away for right now, right?
Yeah, it's in a different...
It's in another dimension. Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
Giving him a break.
Yep. Twitch, you are keeping an eye out. Everything looks still pretty good, pretty normal. Vanessa, you see that the rain did make the trail a little bit harder to follow. But you're still able to see, like, what you feel is a very clear trail for you to get through. And following a path. And as you're, like, going through, one thing that also catches your attention with your survival is that you're noticing that there does seem to be a bit lack of a game anymore. Like, as you're going through, after an hour of traveling and then another hour, so you're still 2 more hours out after that, you're just finding that there seems to be less animals around here. And with it also, the tree line is starting to, like, get a little bit more thin. That you're not feeling quite in forest anymore after this point.
Okay.
Although there are still trees and still thorn, scraggly brushes going on.
Back to tundra.
Starting to actually get into the tundra. It is... Go ahead.
Not important.
Cool. It is... You're seeing along the ground that it's more of this weird, dry swamp kind of texture to things, which is... It helps a little bit in certain areas for the trail because it keeps an impression. The impression was partially destroyed by the rain again, but everything's fine. For you, you're able to see it continuing through. It is just this weird... going on that looks like... I'm trying to think of a good way to describe it. It's you're now walking like there is a tree here, but now you're going like 10, 15, 20 feet before the next tree. And then they're starting to decrease in height a little bit more. It's no longer 15 feet tall trees where Twitch, you feel very comfortable climbing. Now they're shorter. They're a little bit weaker looking. Mm-hmm. Probably could still hold your weight to it, but it's just not as good as a purchase would be. And you guys are keeping your eye out on things. You're not really catching much at the, like, going, oops, I have the wrong mouse. Sorry. You're keeping an eye out for things and seeing what is going on. Can I get you guys still on this map to kind of put yourselves in a marching order?
Actually,
Get rid of your extra tree.
Oh, I'd be 5 feet ahead of people. Like, what that distance we're tracking.
Okay.
Not too far ahead, but far enough.
Gotta be like 5 feet behind everybody, just to kind of keep our tracks.
I don't know whether Mark wants to be behind me or in front of me.
I don't care. He's just being a person meditating and being alert. Something happens, he'll, do something, but...
All right. Well, as you guys are walking through and kind of being mindful of everything going on, Isabella keeping the tracks really clear, Twitch keeping an eye out, you, Vanessa, just because you're ahead, you start to catch like this little sound of something, sounds like it's moving along the shrubs and all the brush and everything that's going on around here.
Mm-hmm.
But you do like a quick glance around and you don't see anything. And you're keeping an eye out on the trail and just following it out of like common habits of everything.
Yeah.
That all of a sudden you walk up into a slightly clearer area, which will be represented by the map. And as you're walking along, you realize that some of the brush in front of you is moving. And yeah, you're like a little, like, you're not 100% positive that you're naturally, like, just stopping and starting everybody. When you're certain of it, as the blights, which could not see you because you were very well covered together as a group, you kind of all meet each other. In the area together. Oops, clicking wrong buttons. To token. As you realize you are kind of close to a group of blights that were just walking in this direction towards you. That Twitch was kind of unable to see.
Internal thought, did we just come across the next attacking raiding party?
Hey!
Going to the next farm?
You know, if the timing is right, you guys slept last night. And
this coming night would be the second night.
would be the second night. And if they, like, and their plans, they don't really, like, sleep. They could just keep walking and... Oh, we should roll a niche.
Yeah. So she's not saying any of this out loud because they're right there. It's all like internal thoughts of like, we just came across the next group. This is good. Oh, Mark.
How's that meditating going for you? This is why Isabella doesn't meditate.
That's why I have to meditate.
Mark has to meditate because of Isabella.
Yes.
Well, that's dumb.
There now. Sorry, I'm just writing a few notes.
I mean, it's kind of what happens when you're, like... You guys act like siblings, basically.
Because we pretty much are.
Oh.
And yet not. There's this weird in-between thing.
You're in that land of, you understand Isabella as a half-elf and that Mark is a human, so they could be siblings. And they gave different last names, so maybe it's a human thing. Like, you're not fully sure on that.
Like step-siblings.
No, they just act like siblings, so...
Mm-hmm. I have to roll. That would be helpful and useful.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, I'll tell you why I snickered. Oh, wait, I can tell you now. 2 of them rolled the exact same thing.
That's either really good for us or really bad.
Either way, it's bad for me.
Not necessarily. I could kill them both by the time it comes to you.
All right. 20 to 25, anybody.
22.
22. 15 to 20. 10 to 15.
11.
All right. 5 to 10.
6.
And Mark?
1.
I'm sorry, man.
And you don't have a dex to add to it, do you?
Okay.
I am strength and con based.
Well, I guess the next feat, if you get feats, would be improved initiative.
Alertness. It's called alertness in this one. I had a cleric that took that.
No, you can get improved initiative, but there's also alertness that does things.
Isabella, you are the first up. Where's my battle music? Where's my super suit?
Greater good. I'm the greatest good you'll ever have. Okay, I want to check out one thing.
Not hearing any of my music.
Oh, they need to be clumped together more if I wanted to use my one spell. Damn.
There we go. Sorry, the music kicked up.
Okay, question for you real quick.
That is a rock. You could try to hide behind it, but it's not like a big rock. You will have a slight penalty to your... Like, they get a bonus deal.
You could do this tree.
Yeah, I could. I'm assuming that's a bigger tree.
Yeah.
I could easily hide
all of the trees you could hide behind.
Okay. Should be with... So first I'm going to move... We'll check and make sure I get... First I'm going to move there.
Okay.
Bonus action hide.
Okay.
Roll the 20. 15.
Do they know we're here?
Yeah, you guys all recognized each other at the same time.
Okay.
They had poor perception against your good stealth. You had poor perception against their ability to seem like plants when not moving.
Okay, and then do we have a token for my hawk?
Yeah, I meant to get that, and I did forget. So, wrong mouse. That's why things are bad. Let me pull one up really quick.
I just marked the spot where I want to use my action to make him vamp in.
There. Oh, I think I put that in the GM layer.
You did.
There he is.
Oh, and then 2 seconds, and I'll give you control.
Alright, that's fine.
Well, I don't want to use it all the time.
I know.
Save. Okay, that should do it.
Yep, there we go.
Okay, so that is your turn. Now it is time for some of the creatures.
I want 5.
Yep, making sure I'm looking at the right speed. Where are you, ruler? Oop, there we go. And these guys. Thank you to somebody for something.
You're welcome.
Hey, Thanks, Tarstan, for subscribing.
Hey,
What?
I magically didn't do that somehow.
Craziness.
Merry Christmas, Tarstan.
Thank you, Nav.
Just because Isabel is mad at you doesn't mean I am.
It's a good distinction between real life and whoops, that was supposed to be the ruler.
Agreed.
Boop. Boop.
Is there any way
Isabel's-
any way I can give him advantage from that?
It technically you subscribed, so my understanding is yes.
There you go, Tarstan. We're gonna need it.
Yeah, I know.
All right. You say that, and first up. All right. So you watch
What's the time
as,
attention to them?
like, recognizing that your things that need to be attacked, the twig blights move forward as far as they possibly can, and the needle blights start to spread out a little bit, with a couple of them shooting in Vanessa's direction as she is leading the pack. Does a 15 hit you, Vanessa?
My AC is 15.
Then that hits. And the second one apparently moved forward and starts shooting behind it because it just doesn't have its orientation correctly. Because it was going to be rolling with disadvantage anyway, and that's not happening there. So, one of them, which is range attack. And plus, come on. Sorry. I need to just use the closer one. You take 8 points of damage. I'm supposed to be using this one. That's why I'm having issues with keyboards.
Damage?
8 damage.
Yeah.
Are they more clumped together for you?
They kind of are.
No.
Oh, well, it is your
Yeah.
turn to retaliate.
My one spell requires them to be like within 5 feet of each other, and they're 10 feet apart.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I'm going to move my movement there. Thank you for That's
Mhm.
very helpful. And
I know, because I always forget.
I do too.
Don't forget the hunter's mark.
Yes. I just gotta figure out which one I want to shoot at first.
The
I have
range.
direct line of sight with this one, so I'm going to hunter's mark this
Okay,
and shoot it.
go for it.
Pew pew.
Oh, I'm on the wrong thing.
I have +5. 22.
That hits.
And I do a D8 +3 of damage.
Plus 1d6.
7 points of damage.
Didn't
Oh, and with Hunter's Mark, I forgot the D6. 10 points total.
Nice. To your surprise, because you guys have fought these a couple of times now, that actually kills that one.
Cool.
Which,
They pick up HP as they go.
but that is Renessa. Twitch, it is your turn.
Okay. I'll... Okay, it doesn't look like I can actually get within range of any of them.
Yeah, I'm just in front of you.
And there is the occasional, as you see, difficult terrain.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep that in mind, because I don't know how to mark that, so that way the calculator will pay attention to it.
I don't think there is a way.
I don't think there is a way, so that is just a mindset for everybody to keep an eye out for those.
Okay, apparently Roll20 doesn't like me at the moment.
That's not a good thing to say before rolling.
So I'm going to move up. I'll put a hex on this one.
Okay. Thank you to someone else for something else.
Thanks.
Hypothetical Heroes is rating out with a party of 5. Thanks for the raid.
Thank you for the raid.
Throw the dice at them.
Disadvantage on dexterity checks for them.
Okay, Dex.
And then for my action, Armor of Agathis.
Okay. Make a note of your temporary hit points / armor. / use of a spell.
Yeah.
Alright. That means my slow-moving vine guy gets to go next. Tarson, I am sorry. Thank you to somebody for even more things.
Hypothetical hero and their party of 5 just threw us down in their raid. It came up again with raiding of a party of 5.
Okay, so
I
it's
think it just resent.
okay. It just resends raids sometimes. Okay. You watch as the slow-moving, hulking, weird vine creature just slowly spends its time coming in your direction. Oh, 20. I misread that. I thought it had smaller movement, and it gets up to you. It doesn't attack, but it gets up there.
Okay.
All right.
Also, by the way,
Yeah.
I found out a way to technically count in the difficult terrain. Just go up to it, go to the square next to it,
No.
and we right click.
Yeah. But, okay. So, that part's done. That takes us to Mark.
Okay, so question for you.
Answer.
If I move here,
Yes.
would I be able to attack him?
Technically, he would be 15 away. So, I would say no.
Okay. Wanted to make sure.
Yes.
'Cause that was 30.
But you could attack either the needle directly in front of you or the vine to your right.
Yeah, I'm gonna attack the needle.
Okay.
Let's do the butt first.
17 hits.
And it's 3.
Okay.
Then the glaive, which misses.
It always. I don't know what it is.
It's probably
Switch
because I
away.
got 5 natural 20s within the first game.
We are
Just
just
trying to balance out.
trying to balance everything out. All right. Okay, that takes us back then to. Are you finished? Just making sure. That takes us back to the top of round 2 with Isabella.
Okay. Hawk's going to fly behind Needle Bite. Does it need to? It doesn't need to worry about the tree, does it?
It can fly around it easily enough that I'm not actually gonna do. You are still second level or third level. I'm not gonna start doing like vertical distances until one of you has the fly spell. So
I forgot it has a 60 movement rather than 30.
oh yeah.
So, and then it's going to use its action for the help action. Then I'm going to do Firebolt at the Needle Blight.
Okay, the one directly in front of you.
Yes, with advantage.
Okay.
I have that 21 or 20.
Both hit. Only one does damage.
Yes. So, 10. 2 damage.
All right. You do see it smoking and burning and looking plenty unhappy.
It's fine.
All
then-
right.
Then that was just my action.
Right. Sorry.
Move over.
Okay.
Bonus action hide.
All right. Roll a hide.
Cool. 20 plus 7. Y keyboard. 23.
Okay. That takes us to the twigs. That one's gonna move there first, so you get your.
Gets hit.
Yep. I'm just going to finish moving. And 11 does not hit a twig blight.
Yeah.
Okay. But there is now one attacking Mark and one attacking Twitch. So the first one is on Mark. That's not going to hit you. And then the second one on... Hey, look! Well, let me just double check then. Does a 12 hit you, Twitch?
No.
Okay.
Twitch has the AC of like 18.
Yeah,
Yes, currently I have an AC of 18 because I have the shield out.
Okay.
Doesn't it take...
Do you have a
damage
weapon?
From...
Not at the moment.
Okay, it makes sense why you have a shield out. I just actually was curious, did you have a weapon?
I haven't summoned my weapon yet.
I don't think it takes damage because it did not hit
Yeah, it's if it hits with a...
with the melee.
I figure I'd ask.
Okay. The first Needle Blight is going to try to attack your hawk because it's the only thing it sees that it can try to hit. But not with the 3. The needles just all go flying in all directions above it, but the hawk is able to dip, dodge, and duck, and be out of the way. Then the Needle Blight directly in front of Mark is going to try hitting him. Also a no. And this one... moves over there. And we'll also try to hit Mark again. Well, at least we're all equaling out today, and this will be the longest non-hitting fight ever.
I hit.
Renessa, your turn.
I killed something already.
This is true.
I'm going to move my hunter's mark to the big blade here.
Yep.
And shoot at it.
Okay.
I don't know if a 9 hit.
A 9 does not hit. Do you want to move at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, you find yourself aiming just a little bit off. It goes high and over.
Yeah.
Okay. Twitch, it is your turn. You have a vine thing to your left, a twig thing to your right. Mark slightly behind you. You feel just a little claustrophobic. You're very happy you have armor.
Okay. I will summon my packed weapon.
All right. Roll your 32, because we didn't add anything that we realized we were missing, did we?
I don't think so.
All right, still 32, so you got a 10. For speed.
Which is a spear.
Go, spear, go! Again, you see summoned out of the air of maroon and this dark red energy, a spear just appear in her arms. Hands.
Well, at least it's useful with a shield. So
This is true.
that's something.
Is there anything for your bonus? Because I think that's an action.
All right. I don't think so.
Okay. I'm just confirming. All right. Vines.
Unless...
Yes.
As a bonus action, I will Hexblade's Curse the Vine Monster.
Okay. So you have Hex on one and Hexblade's Curse on the other.
Right.
All right, let's do... Oh, I need... All right, we're going to do a slightly different color for that one.
Are they both concentration?
Once per short rest as a bonus action.
I guess the...
Hex is concentration.
Okay.
Okay. What color besides orange would you like?
I don't know, yellow?
Yellow it is. There's 2 yellows on there because I was about to draw something and it popped up by accident, and I don't think I'm going to be able to easily get rid of it.
Okay.
So, that'll be there. But then here, you see that the vine creature in front of you, which you saw before, kind of raises its hand up and around. And you guys are in a block of vines that are reaching and grasping for you.
Shocker.
Please roll a strength saving throw.
Hey.
Both of you are able to maintain staying out of the vines. It is difficult terrain to move in this area, but you are not restrained.
Nice. Good job, guys.
Yeah. Mark, it is your turn.
Okay, so I'm going to try to hit the needle blight again
Okay.
with the glaive. I am, however, going to add a sweeping attack to this.
Okay.
And if it hits the one, if it'll hit the other, I get a free attack on someone within 5 feet. So I get to hit both.
Okay. Did you roll a 20?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was like, I see
don't
the...
have to roll again. It's a natural 20.
No, that's fine. I looked up and I saw that the 20 was already there, and I was like, did you call what you were doing already? I kind of missed that part.
I rolled it after I said.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So-
do get to roll. If it hits the both, I don't have to roll.
25 hits
Beauty of
both
this.
AC.
So,
If that was the question. So yes, you hit both of their ACs with that. I'm sure I'm misunderstanding how sweeping attack works, but we're working through it. First time used.
yeah.
This is really what DMs do, people. They don't know what they're doing until it happens the first time.
And then after that, they might remember it and probably will still
won't.
work it out as it goes.
Okay, that's for the first one.
Okay.
Wait.
So you rolled 2d10 instead of having 1d10, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm just making sure if you were going to double the die or do it that way. So,
Double the number.
That's actually a 22 total.
that d8 is also doubled for the crit. Because you normally do all dice for a crit.
Okay, so 31.
Okay, so you always roll twice. I'm just making a note of that for my memory's sake.
The other one,
So that's 32 to 1.
yeah.
Okay.
30 to 1.
Okay, so that's the needle. That needle is down.
So the other one gets 10.
Wow.
All right. Well, and you're like, you have that bit where you're like, you feel it went through really good. You know the other one was just barely grazed, but you watch as it still splits in half and falls down.
So they both die?
They both die. Yeah, you're seeing that. Come on, click this thing. There we go. You're seeing that these twigs, now that you're especially up close to it and fighting it, these ones look smaller than the ones that you fought before.
Okay, I am going to move forward 5 feet.
Okay.
And I'm going to use an action surge to try to hit this thing.
Okay.
Yay, fighters.
Will that hit?
22 totally hits. Do you have to move forward? Don't you have a reach weapon?
Yes, but I want to be able to hit him too.
I gotcha.
I'm going to do another sweeping attack.
Okay, cool. So yes, that hits.
That's 1d10 and a d8. That's 13.
Okay. And 22 does hit both of them.
D10 and a d8. That's 11 for the second.
12.
12, sir.
12.
12. Thank you.
Either way, it kills it. You suddenly find yourself surrounded by a lot of bits, a lot of twiggy, woody, ropey bits. A lot of pain, a lot of ouch. Takes us back to the top of round 3, Isabella.
Okay. That changes what I was planning.
Keep going for the one you were attacking.
Yeah. That's what I want to do. So, pop out, have the bird do...
Aid.
Do I? Does it?
Yeah.
Does it have to help the advantage?
Uh,
I'm coming out of sneak attack? Or not sneak attack.
you
but-
know you have... do you want it to help you or not? You don't know what it thinks it knows.
Well, I'm just trying to think mechanics. If I get advantage from coming hide. You know what? Let's have it aid. But I'm tired and don't want to.
Advantage from multiple sources never hurts.
Yeah. I was just about to make sure that's what I think. Spells, yeah.
17 hits.
17. Let's.
Hopefully it'll be more than a 2.
I feel
won't
like...
call next time.
Yeah, I feel like Mark called that.
Yeah.
I had a feeling, but next time I just won't say anything. I'm
Would
sorry.
you like to move and have a bonus action now? You still have 25 feet of movement?
Bonus action hide again.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I was the same thing, but I didn't want to jinx it.
Alright. The twig is going to continue attempting to fight the bird. 19 hits.
I
And
was hoping I could just do enough damage and kill it. It killed my bird. Yeah.
your
it's
bird disappears into a puff of magic. Come on, move. Do things. Poof.
I'll miss you.
Have to spend more incense to get it to come back.
Yeah,
All I
it was
can
10
think
gold.
of when it goes is Christopher's sudden but inevitable betrayal.
You know the worst part about that?
Hmm.
In the back of my mind, if I would have got advantage from being hidden, I was going to have it disengage.
I
get away
gotcha.
from it.
It's in that land of you know how well you've hidden, and your mind is always amazing. You don't know if it needs it or not.
Yeah.
And then that one blight is going to attempt to hit Mark again with the needle spray. 15 does not hit your armor, though.
I didn't use my bonus action. Oh well.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot with the action surge.
It's fine. It's fine. I didn't do it in the first place.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay. Renessa, it is your turn.
Cool. I'm going to move Hunter's Mark to the vine thing right next to
Yep. Moving it.
Twig, and I'll shoot that.
Boop.
This thing is not having a good day.
It's
Is a 24 hit?
Yeah, 24 totally hits. It again, adventurers. Sheesh, it was just walking down through a forest, and suddenly it was attacked out of nowhere and completely unprovoked.
But a total of 9 damage.
9
Hunter's
damage.
Mark.
All right.
In our defense,
It is still standing.
they took offensive. They attacked us first. I just
Plus-
walked behind a tree and summoned my bird.
Excuse me, totally unprovoked. Twitch, it is your turn.
okay. I believe I have enough movement to get there, even with the difficult terrain.
10,
And
15, 20, yeah.
okay.
Hey, you have
And-
advantage.
Yes, and bonus action hex on this guy.
All of the dots. All of the dots are on this thing. Here's a little... Oh, wait, I can get rid of the little yellow. There we go. Wait, did that work?
We know how dangerous
Damn.
this thing is.
Wait, I'm just going to try to get rid of the little yellow really quick, because it's bothering me.
That's a cute little, like, figure 8, though.
It was completely unintentional, too. There we go. Okay, all back.
Okay.
That explains why it looked so yellow a moment ago.
Now I just have to figure out... Okay, so... Okay, so +6, I think. Let me check.
Honestly, I would have just added a spear to my equipment for the fight and then moved it later.
Does a 16... Oh, wait, no, I have advantage. Because I'm flanking. Does a 16 hit?
Yes, the 16 does hit.
Okay.
Stab it with a spear.
Always try for that natural 20.
Always try for the natural 20.
Unless if you have disadvantage.
Okay.
Just stick with the high roll. Don't risk it.
And then... X is
All the additions.
6. Okay.
Woo!
14.
Very nice. Like in one quick hit, takes out a huge amount of it. Let me math really quick. It is not looking good at all, but it is just up.
I swear I'm good.
It is going to retaliate now against you for trying to hit it, so ouchie hard.
Trying to hit it. I think we hit it fairly thoroughly.
Yeah. 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 No, I'm going to try to hit Twitch. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it doesn't know any better. Oh, it misses. It does not die in retaliation hit.
It caresses you softly.
It, makes this really slow, over-the-top, exaggeration to hit it. And you have that moment to be like, do it. And then you're like, but the spell could still be up then. That you sidestep as it just slowly comes down. You think maybe now you took out part of its brain when you hit it with the spear. Mark, it is your turn.
Okay.
Hey, you have advantage.
I do, in fact.
Nice.
Oh, that's gonna hit either way.
Yes.
That's with the blade. So it's...
I was assuming it was the butt. You always hit with the butt first now.
I've been doing it with the blade the last 2 times, actually. So that's 9. Is still up?
That takes it out, yeah.
Okay. Now, if you will work with me here,
Yep.
do I have enough movement to get to here?
Hold on. I'm counting the different ways and reminding myself that 5th edition is weird and does not count diagonals 515.
Because basically I'm trying to get here
10.
or here, either way.
I think you can get here and you're within range. Or you're...
I'm going to go,
Yeah. Or you're within 10.
and then I'm going to use my bonus butt weapon.
Okay.
Does 14 hit?
And needle, it does, yes.
Okay. So that's... Where are you? Oh. Why have I been rolling? That's just a straight 4 damage.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's just straight 4.
Alright, 4 damage. That'll take us to the top of the 4th. Isabella.
You're breaking up.
Oh, that takes us to the top of the 4th. Isabella.
You can flank it.
That doesn't give me help because you're not within 5. Let me read something real quick. Where are you, features trait?
The vine monster is dead.
The vine monster is dead. Sorry.
You have to be within 5 feet of it.
Yeah. For sneak attack.
It doesn't.
I think you might have technically gotten hit points, except you were never hurt.
Yeah.
Twitch.
I regained 6 hit points.
Woohoo!
Okay, I'm gonna just try for the one guy that's I've been
I
hitting this
currently
whole
have
time.
10 more hit points than my max, so it doesn't really do
You
anything.
feel buff.
Okay. Step out.
Yep.
Try to get that guy. Any chance I have advantage, or is it a straight roll?
You have advantage.
Okay. So 17 hit.
Yes, I was like, oh no, not a 1.
Luckily, it was with advantage. 5.
Woo! Much better.
Retaliation for my bird.
Yeah, you were just angry knowing that it is not there anymore because of that one. It,
Fire in
like,
my eyes.
massively catches on fire and is, like, moving still, but it is burning.
Back and hide.
Roll your
Mad at
hide.
it.
Oh, rogue.
Hey, I don't take a lot of damage, and they're too far away for me to actually do any good damage.
I
to
totally forgot before to move them, too, while things were going on. So, like, he should have been so much closer, and I really forgot.
Mm-hmm.
If he was, I was going to do a ranged attack.
Yeah, it just like bonus actions. I completely forgot to move him. I was like, he did his thing. I'm done. All right. It is going to be 2 needle blights on Mark. I can't roll above a 10, though, to hit anything. Like, I don't think I have
Except
rolled
my
above a 10.
bird.
Except your bird, and I got 1 bit of damage off on Redessa at the beginning. Hey, Redessa, it's your turn.
Cool. I am moving up there. Can I see this one up here?
Yeah, it's slightly obscured behind the rock. The rock, I don't think the rock does not give it cover.
Okay. Then I'm going to move my hunter's mark there with my bonus action.
Yep.
And shoot it.
Shoot it with an arrow.
Does a 16 hit?
A 16 does hit.
1d8 plus 3.
It's also, it was totally obvious for you to see. It was still partially scorched and on fire still.
It gets 12 points of damage.
Oh, it has fallen down.
Cool.
Twitch. You are surrounded by this pile of twigs, this pile of vines. Everything is just everywhere.
So I think I can move there
Okay.
and see this guy.
Yes.
And I'm going to throw my spear at him. Oh, bonus action hex.
Okay. Good catch. Hex, I think we just had as normal purple. Wait, orange.
Orange.
I meant orange.
Uh, 14?
A 14 does hit.
And 12 damage.
Sheesh. You release the spear, it goes through, it does a good amount of damage, it is still standing.
It won't be for long.
Probably not.
Yeah.
As it's your turn now, Mark.
Mm-hmm. Can you possibly guess what I'm going to do?
You are going to respect its personal distance.
No, not at all.
Which are you hitting with?
That's with the blade.
Okay. That hits.
It's 10.
Yeah, it's not standing no more.
Okay.
You guys have destroyed the Blight Party.
Okay,
So we're
look,
out
we
of
start the
combat?
next wave.
You are out of combat. I have clicked the wrong button and destroyed the screen on that computer. It's dead. Can I? Yeah, I can't add it with the other one. I'll fix it later. You are out of combat.
I'm going to walk up to the one up top.
The
And
one-
I'm going to.
The one that's on fire.
The one I am going to make sure and firebolt it until it is ashes.
You see this, like, slightly surprising bit of rage come out of Isabella as she just walks up to this one and just keeps fire, fire, fire over and over again onto it.
I'm gonna walk up behind her, not stealthily. Like, I'm not surprising the rogue. Because, that's how you get stabbed. And give her a hug from behind.
Just let it happen. Just slow down.
Can I attempt to harvest the vine?
I was gonna say, can I inspect these things to see if there's anything different from the last group?
They seem fresher.
Roll a knowledge nature, and yes, you can start to harvest the vine. You guys put a lot of slashes
Whoops.
into this one.
I hit enter too soon. Should I just re-roll it, or?
Yeah, you can re-roll it to make sure you add your actual stuff to it. Can I get
The
from
plus button and just put enter in instead, and I was like, that's not right.
I was doing piercing.
You were doing piercing. So wait, I'll adjust that then. So this was
So
slashing.
5.
This was piercing. That was slashing.
Tried.
And that was slashing. Can I get a survival from Twitch? Wow. Yeah, you were apparently only meant to do a 5.
I was only meant to do a 5.
The gods have spoken. Yeah, looking over this one, you can, even with a 5, you can just see right away that the twig blights are smaller. They don't seem to be as thick. Everything else kind of looks the same, though.
It's one of those things where you're heading to the movie theaters, you're just picking up. These were picked up on the way through.
Twitch, you were able to get another 10 feet of rope. Or a vine rope. But you guys slashed this one a whole lot more this time.
Well, we were determined to make sure it died thoroughly.
Would it be possible for me to get some of my arrows back?
You can take half of your arrows right away, and I will never question anything. If you would like to try to find more than half, then you can roll a perception.
Well, I'll get 2 back because I only shot 4 arrows. So let's see if I can get more than 2.
Okay.
And I think my perception is just +4.
Wait, I did say perception, investigation. That was my fault.
Okay. Good thing you said that before I hit enter.
I super apologize. It is investigation.
I have nothing for investigation. Does a 10 find me more than 2?
You find a third.
Sweet. I get 3 arrows back. Okay, so that means... And we subtract 1.
And hey, look, we now have a fresh path to follow.
Yeah.
You do.
Yep.
Whom would like to roll survival for the path? You are no longer in forest.
I don't mind. It's still +4.
Okay.
11.
It's taking you a little bit to find because you realize you guys have walked over the path for a bit.
Do we care if we all look? One of us might get lucky.
I'm also a little injured, and if someone else wants to try and look, go for it. Because at least finding the path can be a hard thing to do.
I can give.
I want to at least try.
Yeah, you did better than me.
How's a 15?
I heard Twitch was also looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, y'all did better than me.
Yeah, you realize, like, you started to look for it, and just as you were reaching over and leaning down into things, now you're feeling those leftover needles that are just stuck in your skin, like, pierce and move, and it's just a bit distracting.
Ow.
Yeah. But you're just kind of like, look over there, guys. Look over there. And Mark and Twitch come over, and Mark is the first to find it, with Twitch just a little bit behind this fresh path that continues leading, again, in this weird, unerring direction.
Oh. Let's fix Renes's arm and then get going. Shall we?
Mark, you also have this weird bit as you're standing next to Twitch to realize that she is radiating cold. And again, you think that the markings on her face have changed.
Excuse me.
Note the markings for later. The cold, I don't know. I've known her for 4 days. Let's move on. She could just be a cold.
5.
I cast a very smart.
Cold-hearted cat.
This is not the character that bought health potions. That is a different character.
Are you sure?
Yes, it is, because I just looked through my kit and I do not have health potion.
I am also pretty sure.
I did not buy any.
Twitch was the only one.
Yeah.
DM question.
One
Later.
potion of healing left.
I'm just gonna cast Cure Wounds on myself then.
I mean, how much damage did you take?
I took 8 points. So I'm at 25 out of 33. Which is pretty significant.
Mm-hmm.
I have
So-
the lowest health of everyone here, don't I?
Probably.
Yeah, I've got the most.
And if I'm going to stay in front, then I should probably have more. So I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on myself. That's 1d8 plus 2. God, that sucks.
Oh.
It could be worse. I don't know
No,
how,
that is
but
worse.
it could be worse.
That is the worst. I rolled a 1. That's the lowest.
That is. You're holding the magic up against it, and you're like, you need to really concentrate, and it's just, you're throbbing just a little bit, that you feel like it could have been more effective, and you just lost it after a little bit.
Would a medicine check be able to help any?
Probably not.
You can
Medicine
get
check.
the needles out.
I mean, I have a feeling that I would have ripped them out as I did Cure Wounds.
Yeah, the magic helps still just have them all push out a little bit.
So the needles are no longer there, but they're just like barely scabbed over versus being mostly healed.
Correct.
And question.
Yes.
Height-wise, how tall
You cut out
twig
for...
blight? Okay. Height-wise, how tall the vine blight and the twig blight?
The twig blight here is much smaller looking, and like all of them have
The
been...
bigger one.
Oh, the needles?
Just the height range of all 3 of them. I have an idea for later use.
You sent the mental picture for me, so I know this is going to work. So the twig blight, which is the tallest, is still like elf height.
Okay.
That was the vine blight. The vine blight. The twig blights are the smallest and like almost halfling size, maybe just a little taller than halflings were. And the needle blight is just a little smaller, but not by much, of the vine blight, but still a size medium character.
Okay.
I understand where you're going with this, and please remember it for next week so I can cry.
Because I can do disguise self.
Yep. Okay, that was slightly different than me thinking you were going to cover yourself in vines, but yes.
I could do that too, but that one is like a lot of skill checks and...
Yeah, there are going to be things either way that we do this, but yeah.
Anyways.
But yes, your combat is finished. Your healing is done. You've collected a little bit from the bodies. And you have a path ahead of you. But I think that will be it for us for tonight. Unless anybody has anything left that they want to say / do for this part.
And we can't just travel on, so that way we're like camping for the night?
No.
Possibly.
Why not?
That
You
means
have
we're
a combat
getting...
coming up.
Yeah.
No.
I have a feeling we're going to be fighting like 3 or 4 waves before we get to whoever's making them.
Yeah, it's probably going to take a while.
Tune into our Discord to find out when the next episode of A Call to Rising is, to see what our adventure ATC Spearborn are up to. Which I'm just going to refer to as the Spearborn.
That's okay.
Cool.
Because Spearborn is cool.
Because Spearborn is cool. And ACTR is meta. But again, thank you to everyone who's joining us here for tonight. We really appreciate you being here. Please really take a look down at our Discord to find out when the next time we'll be showing, and as well as all of our other awesome shows. Again, there's Team Crossbones, there's Dragon Dark Days, there's Mimic Nights, Vampire the Masquerade games going on. There's a lot of shows on this channel, and you should check them out and check out our Discord just to hang out with. Again, thank you to our sponsors. We've got Tabletop Loot, where you can find some really amazing dice. We have So Nerdware, where you can find some apparel and mouse pads, all related to various shows on the site, which is still very mind-blowing to me. And, of course, at brewinc.com to see some majestic, wonderfully made fantasy maps. I really appreciate you being here. We all really appreciate you being here. And we hope to see you again next time. Good night, everybody. Good night, Internet land.
Good night. Bye.
Be safe.